You need 3 buckets of money to purchase a home. This is what I mean. Once you finally go under contract and you found the home that is perfect for you and your family, you want to understand that there are going to be costs that are associated with that. And you want to make sure that those things are covered prior to you making an obligation to purchase a home. Now, think about it like this. There's going to be 3 buckets of money that you're going to need. This is the way that I like to organize it to make sure that my clients understand what is going to be needed throughout the process. Bucket number 1, we have to determine what your down payment is going to be. Some of you may be eligible, to do a down payment assistance. Some of you may do USDA. Some of you may do a VA loan, or some of you may do a loan with a small down payment, whether it's 3% down conventional, 3.5% FHA, or all the way up to 20% down conventional if you really want to, do a big chunk for a down payment. So bucket number 1 is always going to be your down payment. That could be as little as 0 down, all the way up to however much money you want to put down. Bucket number 2 will be your upfront costs. So regardless of what your down payment is, you're still going to have certain upfront costs with your mortgage. Number 1, you're going to do what's called an escrow or binder deposit. That's the money that you put up in good faith to let the seller know that you're serious about purchasing a home. Now, there's different guidelines, but you can plan on that being at least $500 up. Okay. Number 2, you also have to do a home inspection. Now, home inspection is recommended, although it's not required. That's when somebody's going to go out there, review all the major systems to the property, basically make sure you're not buying a lemon. Number 3 is your home appraisal. That's when we're going to send somebody out there to make sure that the value is there. If you're buying a home for $200,000, we want to make sure that it's worth $200,000, and etc. So bucket number 1, down payment. Bucket number 2, your upfront costs. Bucket number 3 are your closing costs. Now, a good rule of thumb for your closing costs is about 3% of your sales price. So if you have a $200,000 house, 3% is approximately $6,000. Now, you're going to pay closing costs on every single transaction. Now, what it's going to boil down to is, are you going to be able to negotiate the seller to potentially pay the closing costs on your behalf? Now, that doesn't always happen, and it's not guaranteed that it will happen, but you do want to let your real estate professional know if you do need help with closing costs, or if you need the seller to pay all of them, most of them, whatever the case may be, depending on your assets or your cash flow. So 3 buckets of money. Keep that in mind. Bucket number 1, down payment. May or may not be applicable to you. Bucket number 2, upfront costs, which is your earnest money, binder deposit, appraisal, home inspection. Bucket number 3 will be your closing costs. Hope this information was helpful. You stay blessed and you have an awesome day.